Engaging celebrity interviews. Exciting updates from Christian filmmakers. Movie reviews so you can choose your movies wisely. And so much more here on Faith on Film with Isaac Hernandez and Holly McClure.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Faith on Film. Holly, how you doing today?
Doing great and excited about the show today.
Yes, something that makes it very exciting, of course, is that once a month we get to talk a little bit to our good friend, Melissa Anschutz.
And our sponsor, which we're very proud of.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. Melissa, welcome back to Faith on Film.
Hi, thank you. It's so good to be back. I feel like it's been forever, even though I know it's only been a month, but I've missed both of you.
Thank you.
We always enjoy having you on because there's exciting new things to talk about, right?
Yes. So many great things happening on Encourage TV. We're so excited. Again, we're so grateful to be your sponsors. We love your show, so we love supporting it in this way and being able to highlight a movie. And this month we have a very special movie called Just the Two of Us that we want to highlight on the show. Yes. It just released on Encourage TV. It's such a beautiful story. I won't spoil anything, but I will tell you it is about 3 different couples and their journey in love, and their relationships in love, and what that looks like at different stages of your life. So they nail it. They do such a great job. It's emotional. It's funny. It's got all the things to create all the feels.
Okay, yeah. I want to ask, what makes it different from other romance comedy? What sets it apart?
Yeah, so the one couple is actually in the beginning of their journey of love. So they're just meeting and they have these quirky moments. They're very much, their personalities are opposite. So, he's more analytically brained and she's more of an artist and free-spirited. And so just their dynamic together. And then the next couple is kind of in that stage of life where their careers are soaring. And so they're figuring out time to spend with each other and losing a little bit of that relationship sense of being together because it's just not as often, for them because of career life and life gets busy. And then the last couple is an older couple. They've been together forever and they're facing a very serious illness, which, is very emotional, of course, and beautiful, and their love and how that love brings them through, this diagnosis.
That interests me. That sets it apart.
Not only do you bring us some great movies to talk about, but you oftentimes bring us the star of the movie that you're promoting, and today is no different because you've provided us with Michael Flynn, who's an actor with an extensive resume in television, film, and theater. He has played a variety of roles, including a sheriff, a president, a doctor, a lawyer, and a Pharisee. Well, that's a big stretch there, isn't it? He also portrayed Pontius Pilate in The Lamb of God. And so we're very excited. I can't wait to talk to him today. He's also, of course, not only the star of this movie, but he's the director and the writer of the movie. So it'll be a fun conversation. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at the trailer. Melissa, thank you for being with us today.
Do you think that I know who you are down deep? Your hopes, your dreams, your anxieties, your fears?
What made you think of that?
Oh, just thinking about us.
Love's difficult.
Interesting.
Impossible. Weird.
They say that love can change a person.
Love transcends language, or sort of has a language all of its own.
I mean, I know a lot of stuff about her, but do I really know her? Love her?
Most of the time. Some of the time.
I would not wish any companion in the world but her.
Where do you see yourself ending up?
Dentistry.
Wait, looking in people's mouths all day long?
I hadn't really thought of it that way before. Oh, okay. It's a beautiful mouth. Huh?
Thank you. I actually had a dream the other night where I'm driving this car of our marriage.
Yeah, I know the story.
And I wondered where I'd go.
We could drive off into the countryside.
I want to find some distant corner of the universe and just take it easy.
Question?
Okay, I'm thinking, have you ever been in love?
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know? Or you don't want to say?
I have to admit that I don't know if I want to keep doing this much longer.
I'm not so sure I wanted to hear that.
Wow, that's getting kind of heavy for a first date.
There's always divorce.
That word, when actually spoken out loud, just sort of hangs in the air.
It's an ugly word.
He said 6 to 9 months. With this kind of cancer, you gotta love that word. It could be a lot sooner.
Tell me a secret.
Okay, I think that dying is easier when compared to living.
I'm afraid that I'll get married to someone I don't really love.
Why would you want to be married to someone like that anyway?
You don't get it, do you?
Well, I'm not a happy person, and I don't want people to see it.
You're not a happy person?
Talk to me.
Trust, honesty. Does that scare you?
Of course. It just sounds silly, though.
Okay, so we're different.
Maybe we could work together.
You and I.
What do we have to lose?
Pretty much everything. What do we have to gain?
Pretty much everything.
You're great. You're awesome.
You think so?
I have loved you every day, every hour, every minute, every second ever since. But I still thought I'd have more time.
Well, there's always forever.
That's it.
Michael, welcome to Faith on Film.
Thank you.
Now, we, of course, are going to talk about this movie that you not only starred in, but you wrote and you directed. I don't know if it's your first film you've written, but it was a fantastic movie. And we'll be talking more about that. But before that, I just want to know, because I read something on you, and I read that actually your first choice was not into the acting world, but you wanted to be the second baseman for the New York Yankees. And then you discovered that they somehow were not going to come after you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this?
Yeah. I was a big baseball fan. I grew up on the East Coast, and baseball, especially back then, that was a long time ago, obviously. Look at my face. Yeah, I was a big baseball fan, loved it, played Little League Baseball and all that. Yankees were my team, and I really Bobby Richardson was the second baseman for the Yankees, and I thought that's what I want to do. But then I realized when I got into high school that since I couldn't make the high school team, I figured I'd never make it with the Yankees. So I tried out for a play and got a small part, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
Wow. Yep. That's what I read. Holly, you want to ask him something? I know that you were very interested in finding out about this movie. It seemed to have caught your eye a little bit.
Well, I mean, I just was going to say, writing the 3 different stages of love story, which basically, you've done as far as meeting and dating and all that. I just found that very interesting. I wish you would have included a 4th one, that is older people dating, because it's really hard to date when you're older. As I'm single, and I realize that, but given that context, we'll go ahead and go, how did you find this different, writing this to make it different from other romance comedies or other stories about couples?
It was just, it's kind of the way I work as a writer. I've written several other screenplays and directed them and whatnot. This is the first time that I've actually played a role in a film that I directed. I'm not sure that was a good idea, but anyway, I did it anyway. I'm not sure I'd do that again. But I just come up with these ideas that I want to tell a story about, and I always wanted. I had this story in the back of my mind about 3 different couples at different stages of life and in different places. And as you know, since you watched the film, they're not connected at all in the film, but then you find out, they are connected at the end, and so that's kind of fun. But I don't know. It just I just get these ideas in my head and I start writing, and it usually takes me a long time. I'm not one of these guys who can crank out a screenplay, in 3 or 4 days. It usually takes me a year or so, year and a half sometimes. And there was this one film that I wrote and directed that took me about 5 or 6 years to finally figure it out. So.
Okay, I have a question on writing the older love story, which you're the actor in that scene.
Right.
Writing it and then acting it, in doing the role, did it emotionally hit you different when you're saying the lines that you wrote?
Yeah, in a way. And part of the problem on that was I was also directing the film. And then and sometimes I look at my own performance and I think, wow, if I'd been directing myself, I would have done that differently. So anyway, it was a little tricky, but yeah, when I write, pardon me, when I write, because I am an actor, I try to write stuff dialogue that feels like I would like to say as an actor. And actors, we look for certain flows and certain rhythms in dialogue that makes it easy for us to say. And some dialogue of some of the films I've been in, just as an actor, the dialogue's kind of clunky and stuff like that. So I try to avoid that in the stuff that I write.
You mentioned dialogue there, and I've got to tell you, I think that was one of the things that I enjoyed the most on this was actually the dialogue, because it wasn't an action film. It was what I call a talking film. And the dialogue was definitely something that I appreciated. And I loved the conversations between all three couples that they would have. And who has influenced you over the years as far as not only your writing, but your acting?
My high school drama teacher probably had the biggest impact, John Rees, the high school just outside Washington, D.C., George C. Marshall High School. And yeah, John has been a great mentor to me over the years. And yeah, I think he was the one, it was because of him really that I got involved in all this. He believed in me at a very early age. He cast me in a lot of plays that we did in high school. And that's where I got the bug. And he and I have stayed in touch over the decades. And we're still very good friends. And he's the guy who influenced me the most. And of course, there have been other people, certainly family members, friends, and directors, other actors that I've worked with. All of that is very influential. But John was the one who really got me going.
Okay, and just the two of us, now you've written it, you directed it, you acted in it, but doing it and seeing it in the finished product, what was your favorite scene? If it wasn't you, even another couple, but what was the one that turned out like, I love how that turned out?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I think the favorite scene for Pam and me, Pam played my wife in the film, I think is the scene on the front porch when she says, we get talking about winning the lottery and stuff like that. Anyway, I think that was my favorite scene. As I like scenes when I watch movies, I like scenes that are what we call just a oneer, where you kind of lock the camera off, or there's very, very little movement in the camera, and it's just a couple of actors talking to each other. I like scenes like that, not only in films that I do, but films that others do. So I like that scene. I like there's a couple scenes from the young couple that crack me up every time I watch them. And the middle-aged couple. I like the scene that ended with the reading of the anniversary cards. Because they've got this scene going along where they're not getting along, and there's some pretty honest and rough stuff that they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And then they pick up the anniversary cards that they've written to each other, and there's stuff in there that just flies in the face of everything they've been talking about. And I like the way the scene ends when they say, so why do we say things in anniversary cards and talk about love when we can't even say it to each other except maybe flippantly at the end of a phone call?
Yes.
And then she says, well, it's easier on a card. And I think there's something to that,
very much so.
Right.
That's real. That's real life. That's why I love that. You're writing.
Now, following along the same line here that Holly just went through with what your favorite scene, you're a veteran actor. You've been in so many movies. I believe I saw it was 191. This movie would be, I guess, 192, 119. This would be 120 films. What has been your favorite project that you've ever been on?
Favorite project was actually a film, and I really enjoyed the one we're talking about, just the two of us. I think my favorite experience with a film was a film that I wrote and directed a few years ago, and there was just something special about that film. There's something special about everything, but there was something particularly meaningful to me about it, and just the way we went about it. It was an odd way of shooting a film. The whole film took place in a cabin in the middle of the winter with 6 young people, and it was a story that I wanted to tell for a long, long time. And I have kind of a different way, perhaps. No, I think a lot of people write like this, but usually when I'm doing dialogue, especially if I get into a longer moment for a particular actor, I just take out my phone and I just start talking into my phone. And I do the dialogue that way. And then if I do that, then my phone will print it out for me, and then I play around with it, pull it into the program that I use for screenwriting, Final Draft. And anyway, that's kind of the way I write. And that one particular project that we did about 5 years ago, that one stands out. As far as an actor goes, oh my gosh, there's been so many great experiences. Last summer was kind of fun. I worked with Kevin Costner down in southern Utah on this huge project called Horizon that he's got going.
Oh, wow.
That was a blast.
You worked on that?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that this summer. I'm very excited about this project.
Yeah, the trailers look great. It was at the Cannes Film Festival, and I guess it went over quite well there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Met a lot of cool people.
Now, wait a minute. What role did you play in Horizon so I can look for you?
It's a supporting role, just one of the guys. The story is the movement west back in the 1800s.
Yes.
It was just fun, it was, and when you work on a big project like that, they just treat you so well. You get great suite in the hotel, and and the money's good, and it's just a great experience.
Where did you film that? Where was it? Where did you go? Location?
It was filmed in just outside Moab, Utah.
Wow.
Moab's a well-known place for adventuring out into the desert, stuff like that. A lot of old Indian ruins and stuff. It was a beautiful setting, and it's right on the Colorado River.
What a fun project to work on. Like you said, that's memorable. And is that going to be in the 1 or the 2? Are you in both, or just the Horizon 1?
They'll shoot the 3rd one this fall, and I'm hoping that they bring back my character. You never know.
Yes, but hey, 1 and 2, Kevin Costner, well, that's also exciting. We'll be looking for it.
He's a great guy. A lot of fun to work with. Very good director.
Well, and it got an 11-minute standing ovation at Cannes Film Festival, so,
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Right, so, can't go wrong with that. Well, this is exciting for you, Michael. It's so good to talk to you about all this and get your perspective. Really enjoyed it.
Now, Michael, what do you most hope to accomplish through your acting, your writing, your directing, or are you just doing it for fun?
Well, I make a living at it, so it's not for fun. It's just part of me. And another thing I do that I'm very passionate about that's related to the industry is I started this thing called the Actors Workshop. And I have a studio in Salt Lake City, and I work with actors every month. There's about 10 to 12 actors, sometimes 8, just depends on who jumps in for that particular month. And I've refined it over the years, and it's a very, very popular actors workshop in the Intermountain area. And I get actors from all over the place coming to it. It's a lot of hard work on their part and on mine, but it's very rewarding, and yeah, it's great. Maybe when I'll just for the heck of it, I'll send you a link to some of the stuff that we do in the Actors Workshop. It doesn't really pertain to what we're doing here today, but you might get a kick out of it.
Yeah, we'd like to show it, feature it, and show what you're doing. And for the people to tune into that would be great.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
In fact,
Thank you, Michael.
No, go ahead. I was going to just ask, how can people get a hold of you? Not get a hold of you, but find out more about you, keep up with what you're doing.
Follow you.
Follow you.
Probably the easiest way is just to find me on Facebook. Right? There's a bunch of Michael Flynn's on Facebook. I'm sure. I don't know. But if you type in, I think if you search the Actors Workshop, I'll probably pop up. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how all that stuff works.
Michael, it's been so good to talk to you and hear about this project. The two of us were looking at, I love that, just the two of us. I'm excited to promote that and have other people see it, and then we'll look for you this summer on Horizon 1 and 2. That's exciting to know someone that's in that. That's good, and other films that you've done. But thank you so much.
You're very kind. It's great to meet both of you. Let's do it again sometime.
Let's do it again.
Sure thing.
Let's do it again.
Folks, we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Karen Kingsbury, #1 New York Times bestselling author and the author of 1,000 Tomorrows.
And I'm Tyler Russell, screenwriter of 1,000 Tomorrows.
And you're watching Faith on Film.
Coming to see Reagan, and so excited at the Big Cinemark Theater here in Dallas, Texas. It is going to be fun to see what they've done with this movie, and of course to cheer for Ronald Reagan. Well, I saw the movie and I love it. Love Reagan, love this movie. Can't tell you a lot about it because lips are sealed till August. But what I can say is we get to show you a trailer and you can get a little bit of excitement that I felt watching this movie. Pride in a president that I love and wish we still had. And it'll remind you of the wonderful history that we had and how great of a president he was. And it's just a good movie. So let's take a look at the trailer.
Welcome to your life.
There's nothing a retired governor can do, but a president, now he can do a thing or two.
Everybody wants to rule the world.
I will be frank with you that as a citizen, I would not like to see any political party outlawed on the basis of its ideology, because I still believe, Mr. Chairman, that democracy can handle it.
Holly, so you said you couldn't tell us a whole lot about the movie, but what can you tell us?
Well, at the time we saw that, there was an embargo because they wanted to release the trailer. And now they've released the trailer, so now I can talk about it. And, you know, we all know the story of Reagan, right? I mean, you guys, we know the story. But what's really amazing about this movie is it pulls you in and reminds you of what an incredible leader he was. It links together how he was so smart about the Russians and the oil and how to combat them with not just military, but through his smarts, through his brain. He said, you know, the oil thing, and he said, when I was a lifeguard, I would study how the waters flow and how to save people, and I knew the currents. He goes, that actually helped me in wartime. So it really links together some amazing things. His Christian heritage from his mother, it really pulls that into it, and how he relied on that. I just loved it. Dennis Quaid, you're watching and you think you're watching Reagan. I mean, you really do. I can't wait for people to see this. And it will remind us of what a great leader we need to have as a president, and what a strong leader, and what a difference to make. And Isaac, it parallels with today. It parallels with the college riots that Reagan had to confront and interact with students of Russia and the influence of that. I mean, you're sitting there going, well, this is like today. So God, it took years for Mark Joseph to get this movie made, but God in his infinite wisdom and his infinite timing knew that right now is when we need a story like this and a movie like this.
I agree with you. When I saw the trailer, and I mean, it was like if Reagan was actually in the movie. He just Dennis just did an amazing job with that.
And I got to tell you something. There's a great scene where Pat Boone met, when he was a young man, met with some other religious leaders with Reagan on his patio by the pool. Well, guess what? Pat Boone is in this movie playing the older guy, and the young guy next to him is playing him as Pat Boone. So it's kind of an interesting, it's a very interesting dichotomy. So you'll see him in there. There's other actors that you'll be familiar with. But like I said, I've seen this movie now 4 times, and this is the best version. I saw it early on, and there was a lot of changes that need to be made. And they did make the changes, and it is the best version. And I will tell you, I still cried at the very end. And I think it's just that memory of what we had in Ronald Reagan. I wept the day he died. And because it wasn't just losing him, it was losing a president who valued freedom and our American heritage. And that's what, I just love.
Yeah. Well, in the last 20 seconds we have here, when does the movie come out? When can we go see it?
It's going to come out in August, and they'll be having a release date. And I'm excited because we'll be actually doing some interviews before that and have some more information on it to show you, prepare you for it. But this is definitely your older kids, not little ones. They'll be bored by it. But your older kids who need to learn history are going to love this movie.
That's right. All righty. Well, that's it for today, Holly. So glad you got a chance to go see the movie for the fourth time. I hope to see it sometime soon.
God bless everyone.
Bye-bye now.
Write to us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Also, go to our YouTube channel, Faith on Film TV, and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications on our latest Faith on Film shows.